And I'm live. What's up, guys? What's up, ladies? What's up, gentlemen? Got a complaint from the female listeners. I say, "What's up, fellas?" So I'm making sure to include the ladies in here. So now we have week two. I'm excited about week two because I think we're going to learn a lot more than we did in week one. I mean, in week one of the things I learned was that the Jets are just completely trash. And I guess I'll start with that game. When you look at Jets against the 49ers, everyone is ready to make that bet for the Jets to upset the 49ers. Everyone's really excited about it, but I'm not because I watched that film of the Jets and they looked unorganized. They looked uninterested. And we can talk about the talent on their team. We can talk about, well, the Jets don't have a lot of talent, but the one thing you want to see from an NFL team, you want to see them be organized. So that's the first game. I think that is very, very interesting because can you guys really imagine the 49ers starting 0-2? We know the Super Bowl slump's real. I've been trying to say that for years, but I feel like the 49ers did enough to rejuvenate their team, and they're not going to go in and lose to the Giants. I just can't see that happening. So I wanted to start off with that and make that clear because I just uploaded my upset video for the week and I know people are hinting towards the Jets. I've seen a lot of comments from some of the subscribers about the Jets upsetting the 49ers. I don't want that on my conscience. I don't want you guys losing money like that. Please do not go that way. And then like tonight, man, we got the Bengals and Browns, and it might sound like a boring game, but for me, I think there's plenty of intrigue here. I think there is a ton of intrigue here with the Bengals and Browns, and I want to watch Joe Burrow, but also people like watching train wrecks. And what bigger train wreck do we have in this league outside of the Cleveland Browns? And that train wreck probably got worse because everyone wants to shit on Freddie Kitchens. And listen, before Freddie Kitchens got that job, I never wanted him to get the job. So now they put in Stefanski, a guy who really didn't deserve it. And you guys know I'm a Vikings fan. And even I said he did not deserve that job. So now you're looking at this Browns team against the Bengals, and I'm just saying, damn, man, the Bengals got to win this. I know the Browns are favored by 6, but I might actually have to bet the Bengals to cover that tonight. I'm debating it. I don't want to be throwing around 7 or 8 bets a week at the beginning of the NFL season, but damn, I might have to do that. People are saying they got the Bengals at plus 7.5. I like that. And you're going to get a lot of turnovers from the Browns. And I don't want to judge the Browns too harshly in how they got beat up by the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, the Browns too harshly like that. But damn, man, I don't have a lot of confidence in the Browns. I don't have a lot of confidence in Kevin Stefanski. He's just not going to make that offense click. Maybe if the Browns run the rock really well, they'll just steamroll through the Bengals. But I think the Bengals will have some answers on offense. So I think that's going to be an interesting game. Rams Philly is going to be a very interesting game. Last week I picked the Rams to beat the Cowboys. I think maybe I was the only person on earth who made that pick. And we have to be realistic about the Rams. And I know there's a lack of talent, but also they have a good coach. And then I'm looking at Doug Pederson on the Philadelphia sidelines, and I'm just a little bit worried about the inconsistency of this Philadelphia Eagles team. I have lots of problems with Philly. I had problems with them last year. I won a lot of money betting against them. But this might have been the new low in the Pederson regime. You're up 17-0 on the Washington football team, and you end up blowing that lead to Dwayne Haskins. I mean, that's just bad stuff. We got Carolina, Tampa Bay. I'm looking forward to Brady. I think people are just watching that for Brady. There's really no surprise that as a whole during week one, all the ratings were down. The only ratings that were up were the game that Tom Brady was in, that 4 o'clock game. The rest of the ratings were down by a lot. And I think that shows just how interesting Tom Brady is. And, at 1 o'clock, there's lots of other good games on, but you have to check out Brady a little bit. That's always a good game to watch. John Min's asking, upset Jags or Washington. I don't like either of those. I like your first pick you put in the chat. I like the Raiders if we're searching for an upset. I also like those Giants against the Bears if we're searching for an upset. I like both of those, but go check out the upset video. I just uploaded that before I went live. Mr. Luther says Jets have no run game and no chemistry at wide receiver. I completely agree. It's just a poorly coached team at the end of the day. I don't know if we have a worse coached team in this league. I would invite you guys to find me a worse coached team than the Jets in this league, but I can't find one. Not me. Because what I saw yesterday what I saw Sunday against the Bills was one of the worst week 1 performances I've seen in quite some time. We got Atlanta and Dallas. That's a good game. But you just wonder, when you think of Atlanta and Dallas, when I analyze this game, I just think whichever team is more consistent wins, because we know Atlanta's inconsistent. We know Dallas is inconsistent. We know both make silly mistakes. But I am a little bit worried about this Cowboys defense. I think it can be exploited with a good passing offense. We'll see if Dallas can get their pass rush going, and maybe that'll make Matty Ice turn to Matty Melt like he normally does. But if you're Atlanta's offense, you have to like some of these matchups in the secondary against Dallas. Will they be able to take advantage? Who knows? Probably not, because Atlanta is once again a poorly coached team. And this Mike McCarthy era for Dallas, it's just going to take some time to come to fruition. That's one reason why I picked against them week 1. I already talked about San Fran and the Jets. Listen, I'm not going to watch this one. I just don't think it's too interesting. And I already tortured my eyes watching the Jets against the Bills. So I think I'm checking out of that one. Then we got Buffalo against Miami. These are always good games. And these are games that for me are a toss-up. We see the Bills are favored -6, -5.5. But Bills-Miami is a legit rivalry in this league. And one thing the Bills struggle with is playing in Miami. Same with the Patriots. There's no fans there, but the fans in Miami aren't what makes Miami a difficult place to play. The humidity, the heat, and the tempo of the game is normally what causes teams to flounder against Miami. But you do have to wonder about Miami. What are we going to see from Fitzpatrick? And is Devontae Parker going to play? I know Devontae Parker left that last game with a hamstring. So if they don't have him, man, that's going to be difficult. But I think that's an interesting game because Miami needs to do something. Miami can't start 0-2 with all these additions. And if you're the Bills, you kind of got scared. Bills fans, they're portraying a lot of confidence, and they're saying we're the best in the AFC East. But after that Cam Newton performance with all those rushes, with the hoodie beating Miami, Bills fans are starting to look over their shoulder a little bit. They're starting to get a little nervous. And listen, there's still problems with the Bills. Josh Allen had 2 turnovers against the Jets. I still think you can run the ball against that front 7. I love the Bills secondary, but I think the Bills could be in for a little bit of danger here. Mario Souza Gutierrez says, I took the Vikings +3. Yeah, did you watch the upset video? That was the upset. I told everyone to bet, and that makes a lot of sense. Listen, I know I'm a Vikings fan. Last week I told you guys to pick the Packers against them, but this week I think it's Minnesota's game to lose. Really, when you look at Phillip Rivers and you look at his performances over the last 2 or 3 years, when you look at over the turnovers this man propels other teams with, you have to think the Vikings are going to stand in here, be physical, and win this game. And then you look at this Colts offense, and listen, I know Jonathan Taylor, I know you guys love him. I listen, I think he's above average, but I think Marlon Mack is the playmaker in that Colts backfield. So no, I don't really fear the Colts. I think the Colts have a tremendous amount of weaknesses, and I think last week against Jacksonville exposed them. If Jacksonville was a little bit better, they would have went on and stole that game. Yeah. Will the Lefty says Vikings money line, Rivers blows. That's a good 4 words to sum up my feeling on it. I don't want to be too simple and just say, well, the quarterback sucks, so bet the other team. But look at this Colts defense. I'm not scared by this Colts defense as well, fellas. So I think that's an interesting game at week 1. Giants in Chicago. I don't want to make sure you guys go watch my upset video after this. I don't want to give away all my video, but man, I think the Giants are going to be awful competitive in this game. I think everyone's getting a little bit emotional with this Bears comeback. I mean, we've seen plenty of teams come back on the Lions. The Lions blew like a 24-point lead to the Cardinals week 1 last year. So you just have to kind of put that Detroit game to the side and say, who is Trubisky? For me, he's a below average quarterback who also has a turnover problem. And then if you look at the Chicago defense, it's just kind of deteriorated. They don't really play with the same passion, the same physicality. They don't make the same big plays that they used to bring towards games. So I think the Giants are going to stay competitive in it. And I did tell you guys, money pick Pittsburgh over the Giants, of course, even with the 6 points. But it doesn't mean we want to bury the Giants and never talk about them again. I don't like the fact that Joe Judge got the job, but I think this is a good one to put your nose to and watch for an upset. We have to watch the injuries. We have to watch the other things that transgress. But I think this Giants-Bears game is going to be a surprisingly good game. Maybe the most competitive game of this week. I really think this is going to be a good game. And like you guys are saying in the live chat, Giants played pretty decent against the Steelers. Sometimes we need to tip the fedora or tip the cap to Big Ben. I mean, Big Ben just came out slanging it. And we know this Pittsburgh's defense is top 10. So we have to be a little bit gentle with the Giants after that week 1. Not that I'm high on the Giants, and we know the Giants don't really have an identity. They have a lot of problems, but they're also facing a team in the Bears who have a ton of problems. If you're letting Detroit get up more than 20 points on you, you got some fucking problems. Will the Lefty 300? Any chance Raiders upset the Saints? Of course. Check out my upset video. I go more into that analysis there, but that's Monday night, right? That's going to be a great game. I'm really excited about that about that Raiders Saints Monday night. I think that's going to be a really good game. And now I just watch Monday night in like Portuguese or Spanish, so I don't have to really deal with the announcers. So I'll be watching that one very closely. I'm very curious to see what Gruden does. I'm very curious to see if Carr can make some big plays and play action, because that's really what the missing component to this Raiders offense. If they could just play action, get 2 or 3 plays down the field, just 2 or 3 30-plus yard plays down the field a game, I think this is a damn good offense, man. But Carr is a question, and I think this Raiders defense will look a lot better against the Saints. Listen, I'm a little bit worried about what that Matt Rule, Teddy Bridgewater offense did to him. Let's be honest. I am a little bit worried. But if you don't want to pick the Raiders in the upset, I see no reason why, with a 6-point spread, why you wouldn't want to dip your feet in a little bit. I'm not telling you to go all out college fun, but I think that's something we need to consider. Yeah, and it's Raiders home opener. Different type of weather conditions. Definitely going to be a lot drier. It's going to be hot. We'll see what the Saints do. Saints are an indoor team, so I think it could have some effect. Yeah, no Michael Thomas. I did mention that. B Yang, what about the over-under on tonight's game? Let me look at that, my friend. So over-under for Cincinnati, Cleveland is 44. Go under. but I think we're going to see good offensive plays, but go under here. I could see this game ending like 2017, 2014, maybe 17-14. I think the Bengals pull it out. I think there is a little bit of an upset, but we'll have to see what happens. The Bengals are really just a team that's hard to judge at the moment. I can judge the Browns because I know about Stefanski, and I know he's a goddamn joke. Are the Ravens, from Richard Edenfield, are the Ravens a good survivor pick? Well, I don't know if you want to use the Ravens that early if you're trying to win a survival pick, but let me see. Who are the Ravens playing? I'm fucking trying to look. Damn, man. What time are they playing at? I'm looking. I don't see where they're playing. Yeah, I can't find the game. Who are they playing? I just had a blank. I had a blank mind for a second. Another 1:00 game I think that is interesting is Detroit Green Bay, more so because I want to watch how Green Bay builds upon this. But you wonder what Detroit's going to do. Is this their last stand? Is this Detroit's last stand? Is this Matt Patricia's last stand? I thought he should have lost his job last year. I think we're going to see a decent performance from Detroit. Does that mean them winning? No, but I think we're going to see a decent performance. So if you want to get in on the Packers, you better get on in at -6 or -5, because I could see this moving up to -7, -8. Ravens against Houston, I wouldn't utilize the Ravens as a survivor pick this week. No, not like of course they're probably going to beat Houston, but I just want to utilize it. Not now. The Ravens are your joker card. Whenever you need to get something going, you're going to get them against the Bengals. You're going to get them against other terrible teams. You're going to get them against the Browns. So I would say save that. That's like a nuclear bomb. You don't want to just throw the nukes out on your first attack. I got Denver +8, and I'll be taking it. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I think there's some positives about Denver, but I tried telling you guys last week when you guys told me they were going to beat the Titans that I don't think Drew Lock is ready for prime time, and I don't think John Elway's found his franchise quarterback. It was just 1 week. We need to be fair, but come on, fellas, ladies too. When you watch that game, Tennessee against the Broncos, just forget the score, forget the missed field goals. Tennessee damn near won that game by 20, 25 points. They completely dominated that game, and they were by far the better team. By far. In the altitude, on the road, first game of the season, they were by far the better team against the Broncos. That should give you some pause for worry. But +8, yeah, I don't really have too much of a problem with it. I'll definitely be watching Denver and Pittsburgh because, for me, I just think it's an extremely interesting game. But if I did have to put in the money, yeah, I'd probably pick Denver to cover. But Pittsburgh is damn serious. And if Drew Lock's not ready to play, that defense is going to get 2 or 3 turnovers against him if they force him to throw the ball more. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So at 1:00 we got Jacksonville, Tennessee. You know, I want to watch this, but there's just too many other games on at 1. I am really curious to see what Jacksonville does. Are they going to be a team that we can ride to covering point spreads, or are they going to be that same team that quit? With Minshew, with Marrone, you think you're going to get some good energy. You think you're going to get some positivity, but you can never know because we've seen this team quit 2 times. Last year, the Jags were bad, but it's worse when you quit, and that's when you don't want to bet on the team. Yeah, so let's go to 4:00. We got Washington, Arizona, and a lot of people are talking about this as an upset. I'm just excited to see this game, fellas. Like, I like what Cliff Kingsbury's doing. I like what Kyler Murray's doing. But one thing I want you guys to remember when you think about this Arizona team, think about this defense. Look at some of the players they've added on defense this year. They've added veterans. They've added physical players. They've added smart players. The defense might have improved more than this Arizona Cardinals offense. So overall, I think it's a balanced team with an identity. And we'll see what the Redskins, Washington Football Club, whatever you want to call them, we'll see what they come into this game trying to do. I imagine they're going to be trying to run, pound it, and maybe sneak a few big plays with play action with Dwayne. But I don't know how well that's going to work. But then again, you never want to bet against Riverboat Ron. Riverboat Ron is a beast in this league. He's the top 10 coach in this league, and you can ask Doug Peterson why. I've defended Riverboat Ron for a long, long time. And this man is a really, really good, technically sound coach. And the way that Washington defensive line moves, the way they rush the passer, that's one of the best defensive lines in this league that no one is even talking about. I actually have a good tidbit. I think the over-under is 47 for the Arizona-Washington game. Go under. Go under. I have a friend. He's a Washington Redskin fan. He's been on the show before, AP. Last year, me and him, we just got together week 7, and we bet the under in every single Redskins game. Ended up being like, we had like a 10-2 record at the end of the year. So I think betting the under in Washington games is smart, especially because everyone thinks Kyler Murray is going to put up 30, but it's going to be very, very challenging with this defensive line of the Redskins. And then also it's going to be challenging to get to the over on this because this Redskins offense doesn't have much to offer. Without Geis and Peterson, you still got a good offensive line, but you don't get those big plays in the running game, if you guys know what I'm saying. Okay, next game we got Baltimore, Houston. I talked about that already. Guys, I'm just not really interested in it. Not because of Baltimore. I love watching Baltimore play. Lamar, Mark Andrews, like that offense has its own identity. They bring something different to the table every week. They play beautiful football. It is really, really fun to watch. But guys, is it just me or are we just a little bit tired of Houston? You guys know how much I love football. I wasn't even excited for that week 1 opening game, Chiefs and Texans, just because the Texans are so fucking boring. They're so boring. And the Texans will lose just enough to cover this game or to just to fuck with someone's bat. They're not going to win it, but that's all the Texans really do. There's just kind of a nuisance. So, guys, I'm not excited about any game involving the Texans. Maybe when they play the Jags, because I'd pick the Jags to cover and scoop in and get some money. But this is just one you should stay away from because this Texans team is just, God, man, it's boring. Everyone at Chris Ed says everybody's still convinced Lamar Jackson is a gimmick. Yeah, but I think people are trying to wait it out because eventually you're going to get fucking decapitated in this league if you're a little guy who runs the ball a lot. So I think that's why people are holding on and holding their breath. And I did see his throwing display, if you call it that, at what was it, the Pro Bowl or the skills competition around the Super Bowl, and it was really, really bad. So I could see why people still think it's a gimmick, but he's a damn good football player. I always knew he was going to be a good football player, but I didn't know he'd be MVP quality. So I think people are just kind of waiting on that because no one really wants to admit they're wrong. Like Bill Polian's not going to come in and admit he was wrong. Like no one really ever wants to eat crow and just say like, damn, yo, I missed on Lamar Jackson. Because I remember when me and Giff did our quarterback list, me and Giff had Lamar second coming out of that draft, and people were literally butthurt. We had him above Josh Rosen and Darnold and guys like that. But time comes to fruition. People are asking about if I do college football. I don't really do college football, guys, because I bet a lot of soccer and I try to bet on things I know about. So I'm not well versed in college football at this moment in time. I will watch some games. I was surprised to see it on. I thought they were canceling the whole season. So, I mean, if I get a feeling about a college game, I'll let you know. Okay, Kansas City, LA. and that this spread keeps hinting up. It started -5.5 for KC. Now it's up to -8.5 or 9, depending on where you will place the bet. Well, that's kind of interesting. Now that it's all the way up to -9, one would have to think that the Chargers would have some sort of chance to cover this, especially if their defense is as good as the fans say it is. This Chargers defense has a lot of talent, but this Chiefs offense is just ridiculous. So in order to beat the Chiefs, yes, you need a good defensive performance, but your offense needs to have a good performance, keep the ball away from Patty Mahomes, run the football, make big plays, and eventually you have to score with these Chiefs. If you can't score from them, you're not going to win. As the 49ers. The 49ers defense put up a miraculous effort in that Super Bowl, but they came up short because the offense didn't perform. Yeah, don't bet the Chargers. Don't even touch these. I'm not even touching the KC games. I'm just not. I'm not until there's just a slam dunk money pick. Okay, Sunday Night Football. This is one I know you guys are excited about. New England at Seattle. I'm really excited about this. I think Seattle comes in here and rolls. I think the Seattle offense is going to be just a little bit too much for the Hoodies defense. Lots of players, lots of starters on this Patriots defense sitting at home because of COVID. And then you look at Cam Newton. Okay, to win this game, what do you guys think? How many points do you think Cam Newton needs to put up to win this game? 24, 21? 24 minimum for me. I think the Seahawks get to at least 24 against its Patriots defense. Is Cam going to break 24? I don't see it, guys, and I don't see him running the ball all on this Seahawks defense. Even though the Seahawks defense has problems, the way to exploit them is throw it, is to push them deep, to test them. I don't see how that's testing them. So I think New England wins that game, but I'm very excited to watch it. And I think we're going to learn a lot about Cam Newton in this game. If Cam Newton goes into Seattle and he wins this game, damn, the NFL is going to be it's going to be a crazy year if that happens. And I bet Bills fans are going to be having anxiety attacks. But yeah, and like James Lee said, there's no receivers on the Patriots. It's a big problem. And I don't want to make it too much about Cam, but yes, at the end of the day, it's just him on that offense. And I don't even know if they have a good running game. I know that offensive line isn't what it used to be. Okay, next game. We got last game, New Orleans, Las Vegas. Yeah, I already said a lot about this game, and I'm excited for it. I'll take your questions before I get off. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Mr. Luther, New England +4 sound okay? No, I wouldn't do that. I would not do New England +4 on the road to Seattle. It's just like Mr. Luther, if you think there's a lot of firepower on this Patriots offense, if you think Cam's going to put up 21 points or 24 points, then yeah, it'd be a good bet. But I don't know if they get past 17 this game. I could see this being like a 24-17, 27-17, 30-21 type game. I'm just not loving this Patriots offense and system. And I know you have to show respect to the hoodie, Bill Belichick, but there's only so much respect I can show when I look at the talent on this roster. You like Minnesota +10 and Green Bay +1? Yeah. But have some caution with Detroit. The money pick, the time to slide in on this money pick for the Packers was last week when I was warning you. This week, Detroit can complicate some things. I think it'll be a little bit complicated. But yeah, Minnesota +10 is great if you get that on a teaser. I think Minnesota's going to win that game outright. Minnesota over under 27 points. Under. Although that is an interesting bet because I think they get it right about near there. I think they get 24, 27. I think they're in that mix, but I'd go under. Jay Orion, what's up, my man? I haven't seen you in a while. That's my guy. Do you think the Bengals can upset the Browns tonight? Yeah, I think they can. I think you got Joe Mixon and Joe Burrow. I think that provides excellence. And we know there's not a lot of talent on the Bengals defense, but you give me Joe Mixon, you give me Joe Burrow. Those are playmakers. Those guys can change the way a game is going just with their effort. And then you look at this Browns with Stefanski, with Mayfield. First off, I don't believe in Stefanski. I think he's a joke. Secondly, obviously Baker Mayfield isn't cut out for this quarterback thing. And I'm not just saying it because the Ravens beat him up again. He just isn't cut out. And then when you get a bad quarterback performance, it hurts your team, but also it hurts your team when there's turnovers. And you kind of, and like the Browns defense is good enough at times against weak opposition to win games on their own. The Browns have a pretty good defense, especially that front seven. But there's just going to be too many mistakes coming from Baker. And then with the Browns, you get other mistakes. Well, who knows what will happen? A block field goal, they'll muff a punt, and Joe Burrow will get field position on the Browns 10. There's a lot of things that can go on here. And at the end of the day, the better coached team is going to win this game. And I keep waiting for Zach Taylor to show me something. Because I know I'm never going to see anything from Kevin Stefanski. Like, okay, they might upset the Steelers one time this year, and everyone says, Lawson, you're wrong about Kevin Stefanski. But no, we're thinking long-term here. When you look in Kevin Stefanski's eyes, do you see anything that's going to improve? How is he even better than Freddie Kitchens? He really isn't. He's just like dresses a little bit better. He shaves once in a while, and he's not fat. But there really is no difference between Kevin Stefanski and Freddie Kitchens. At the end of the day, I think the Bengals can win this game. And I know you guys think it's a boring game for Thursday night, but listen, this second half could be magic. It could be magic if we actually get to see Joe Burrow slang it. We saw his running touchdown last week. It was very, very impressive, but I want to see him slang it this week. But we need to see Joe Mixon involved. If Joe Mixon has a good game, I think Bengals will win this. But I'd really love the Bengals to cover. Is Arizona a lock in as a pick-up for a 7-point teaser? No. There's other meat to pick, Jamal. I mean, there's a full plate of meat you can pick, and then you start messing with Riverboat Ron Rivera, and then the rest of your teasers will go fine, and then that man will put the mask on and just steal your whole teaser away from you. You should always have to take caution with these good coaches because you saw last week what he did against Philadelphia. And yes, the fundamentals are all stacking up for Arizona to win it, and I wouldn't beheave you if you put that on your teaser, but just understand it comes with a certain amount of risk. But yeah, I like it. Mostly because I know this Arizona defense is going to do what they need to do. Even if Kyler has a down game for him, I know this Arizona defense is going to stay strong and physical against the run because Dwayne Haskins can't throw. So that's a huge issue. Yeah, I don't know what I don't think anyone really knows what to expect from Washington, but here's what I expect. Running the football, very good defensive line play, and good coaching. That's about all they bring to the table. Teams should be able to beat that. But when you bring that good coaching thing to the table, you always got to get a little bit of anxiety. Always. Raiders is an indoor game. Oh, okay. I'm kind of out of the loop. Why would they build a dome stadium when it doesn't rain there? Is it too hot or what's the deal? I mean, Las Vegas gets like what? 95, 100? I don't know. I don't like indoor stadiums. I mean, you understand that the Vikings or Colts have indoor stadiums, but in a place where it doesn't rain and it's sunny every day, why have an indoor stadium? I don't get it. Yeah, so let me get to more of your questions before I get off. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit this like button and turn on your notifications. You guys probably have your notifications on already, but if you don't have them on, help me out. Okay, leave your questions because I'm about to get off. 115. It's 115. Come on, let me check the temperature right now. Let me check. While you guys send in the questions, let me check the temperature. Okay, it's 98, but let's look at the humidity. Okay, guys, it's 98, but it has 9% humidity. A day in South Carolina when it's 88 and it has like 90% humidity is way hotter than that. That's like no humidity. They shouldn't. Come on. Oh, the roof is retractable? Well, it would be nice to play a game under the lights. I mean, looking up at the sky. Although with what's going on in the West Coast now, I don't know if you can fucking see the sky with all the air quality problems. So it'll be in the 110s for a week of time up there. Yeah, I've never been in a place that hot. I mean, of course, I've been in like Brazil, South Carolina, Florida. I like that type of hot. I mean, 110 is maybe a little bit too hot. But if there's no humidity, maybe there's a give and take. Anyways, guys, subscribe, hit the like button, share the videos. Let's get ready for week 2.